a lot of just general football. And last night I was watching the Chiefs and the Chargers game. Not just because I enjoy watching the Chiefs, but I enjoy the Chargers. I think Justin Herbert is a really good quarterback. He's got a great ball, and the fact that he's getting good coaching now and the offense is running just more, I would say, just more functionally, it's just fun to watch. I was excited to watch two of, I would say, the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL go at each other. It wasn't a shootout because both those teams have good defenses. They're both well-coached teams. It honestly just felt like the toned down, the alt version of the Packers versus Lions game. We had two teams, both of them good, both of them playoff caliber teams. But when I watched it, the Chiefs, classic Chiefs fashion of like Mahomes makes that one play to Kelsey to be able to run down the clock. They bank in the kick. Now, I will say the kick was through the uprights and then banked. So I don't even know what would have happened there. Like, what happens when it was through, it hit the back end of the upright. If it had come back out, would that not have been good?
I mean, I don't know how that physically happens, but I think, maybe, I feel like they would call it no good.
I don't know.
You maybe could review it.
I guess. I don't know if it's a threshold.
But how does it get all the way through? It's a round pole. How does it hit something and come back?
Well, I don't know how it would come back. It would have to be one of those weird bounces.
Because he hit it at the exact side angle, so then it bounces, then it hits right.
But it was a little bit like it was on the back end of the side angle. Like it was kind of through, and it would have had to have come forward, hit the crossbar, and then bounced. Like if it had a weird bounce, like forward and hit like that middle bar and then bounced forward out, it would have been one in a million shot. But I was just curious what would have happened if it came back out.
I feel like if it doesn't go through and get to the net or like the guy behind the field goal post doesn't like touch it or catch it, if it somehow gets into play, I don't know how it could have gone through. I love
that as an extra little add-on for field goals that now like you have to have a member of your team behind it catch it.
Yeah, because more kicking rules seems like the way to go in the NFL nowadays.
Well, for the 2 point there, for the extra point, they're worried about it being too easy. That would have been a way that would have made it.
Yeah, they got to catch it off the net instead of the ball boy.
Right, or you could kind of just like slow punt it and like kind of just get it just over. Like if you could kind of trick shot it, precision kicks.
They think it's too easy. They should just make the kickers extra points have to be drop kicks.
Oh, there you go. Did you
Old school.
research department? Did you research this or not?
Did I research what?
No, you looked. No, the kick. If it comes back out.
I thought the idea that you're bringing up of just somebody having to catch it is interesting.
Okay.
Honestly, I would be curious if NFL teams would just have guys who are like really good, like gym teachers, who are just incredible at like standing still and being athletic, but not anything else. Like just back there just to catch it. Like they would make a new position for this, like long snappers. It's just one of the specialists.
I'm trying to figure out a way that it could go through and come back, and I can't think of any way with a rounded goalpost.
Anything is possible. So anyways, watching that game, it was similar to the Packers and the idea that the Lions came down the field, got the game-winning kick. That was the ball game. Jordan Love never got the chance to get back on the field to try to lead a comeback for the Packers. Now, obviously, Jared Goff is not Patrick Mahomes, but same thing. Mahomes was able to make that play, and they were able to bleed the clock out, run everything perfectly, and get that win. So what I wanted, it got me thinking, I'm like, are the Packers closer to the Chargers than they are the Chiefs? But I was like, that doesn't work because we're not an AFC team. Like as much as we talk about other teams, probably more than any other show on ESPN Wisconsin. So then I thought, well, the Packers play the Seahawks. The Seahawks are the division leading team, but I believe the Seahawks have 5 losses and the Packers have 4. And so the Seahawks would be the 3 seed, the Packers the 6 seed. Now, nobody, I think, realistically would pick the Packers to be worse than the Seahawks. But at the same time, I wanted to ask this question. I think it's worthy of a conversation. 844-770-3776. Are the Packers closer to the Seahawks or are they closer to the Lions when you're picking the best teams in the NFC? 844-770-3776. This can be a little bit of an eye test, too. And the eye test goes to Seattle. Eye test goes to Green Bay.
I was like, what? That's just common knowledge. It's just Seattle's better.
Yeah, no. The eye test goes to Green Bay, right. But I would say that this answer is dependent, and that's why I want to talk about it. Oh, by the way, they play this weekend on what happens this weekend. If the Packers go to Seattle and lose, you can't make a case to me that they're better than the Seahawks. I'm not saying.
No, I'm fully aware. I've been trying to make the case they're better than the Vikings, and you're like, they lost to them. There's no way I could talk to you. Darnold looked not like Darnold.
Well, we can get a Sam Darnold later.
I keep saying this, and I still stand by it. Eventually, that boy is going to come back to earth.
I honestly looked at his stats. I don't want to get distracted by Sam Darnold. He's better than I thought. Like, he was not a disaster in New York
I think he's like 16-4 in his last.
I don't care about wins and
20
losses.
games.
I mean, like
16-4, Jim.
Yeah, but wins are not a quarterback stat. So, like, for me, statistically, with the Jets, when you look at him as a rookie and a second-year player with the New York Jets, he was actually solid. And they just moved off quickly, like probably too quickly, bounced around a little bit. So this is not shocking. He's still only 27 years old. The question I'm sure they have in Minnesota is, do they just trade J.J. McCarthy? 844-770-3776. The question we're having here, though, are the Packers closer to the Seahawks or the Lions? Record-wise, they're closer to the Seahawks. And seeding-wise, they're closer to the Seahawks because 6 is closer to 3 than it is 1. But, Matt?
Take that for data.
What do you think? It's not a crazy question.
I mean, we just play the Lions on Thursday, so technically we're closer to the Lions game than the Seahawks game.
Come on now.
No, but I do think they're closer to the Lions. This, it's I mean, I say that because it was they battled with the Lions. They really had a solid game. It looked like it could have gone either way for some of that game, and I personally have confidence we're going to be able to beat the Seahawks this week in a, strong fashion, whether that be.
You think strong fashion?
Well,
now, the Packers are favored by 2.5, I believe.
I'm thinking like we're going to have a 10-point lead, and then the Seahawks might score a touchdown in the last 3 minutes of the game to make it seem closer than it was, but we're getting the ball back and we're running out the clock kind of thing.
Okay.
So that will still feel like a strong win to me, even if it's just by 3, but they got a garbage time touchdown to keep it.
What you're describing as a strong win,
right?
for sure, yep.
But that said, I did get to watch some of the Seattle game. They look good, and they can run the ball. That Charbonnet is able to run the ball right now, and fortunately the Packers did a pretty good job against probably the best running back tandem in the league in Gibbs and Montgomery. Mm-hmm. But I think Seattle's going to give them a good test on a running game too, because that seems to be where Geno's been shining, kind of like what you've been saying about how LaFleur should run Jordan Love. Let the horses that seem to be playing the best eat. And right now it's Josh Jacobs for the Packers, and he's getting plenty of touches and work to prove it. And for Seattle, it's their running game as well. So I was very confident 3 weeks ago that the Packers were going to just be able to handle their business against the Seahawks. But the Seahawks have been on a pretty good run lately, and they make me a little more nervous than I thought I would be at this time.
844-770-3776. We've got a couple texts coming through here. Brandon in Tulsa, one says, welcome to Sooner Nation as I'm rocking my Oklahoma quarter zip. The logo below it had a lot to do with me getting it, but I do like the colorway for Oklahoma. And they've had, obviously, it's a historic program.
Circle the Wagons, is that them?
Yeah, but,
that's the Bills.
No, there's a college team that does that.
But Oklahoma does have a wagon come out.
Yeah,
and they have the Sooners.
They're the Sooners, yeah.
Yeah, they do have that whole thing. But it's a Jordan logo that's on my...
Ryan, you made me second guess myself. I
still think you're wrong.
Felt like an idiot.
There's wagons that are part of the
right.
allure
That's what
for
I thought
Oklahoma.
it was them, but then I was like, man, it could be any one of those South teams. It could be Texas A&M.
When I look
Texas.
up Circle the Wagons Oklahoma, I'm only finding ministries. I'm not finding the college football team.
That's what Matt was talking about.
That's what I was talking about.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair. All right.
The Jordan logo is my ministry, and so I have that on my shirt. But he also chimed in, I hate to say it, but I think the Packers aren't as good as I thought. They are a young and talented team. They're definitely the 5th or 6th best team in the NFC, not encouraging. We also had some people chiming in on the kick. Lots of people chiming in on the kick. Eric in Madison says, if it bounces backwards, it's no good. It has to pass through the entire plane defined by the U of the goalpost. And then Donnie DeForest chimed in, I think we should put some extra points back to where it was. And whenever it scores a touchdown, and whoever scores the touchdown kicks the extra point. That's a little fun there.
That would be hilarious.
JJ and Poinette chiming in. I think what you're describing might be possible if it was windy enough. Otherwise, the physics don't mesh.
Thank you.
There's
That's
no
what
math
I was
on this.
thinking, too.
There's no math on the show. You like physics.
Physics. Okay.
Take that for data.
You and your feelings and your physics can go pound sand.
844-770-3776. And Donnie DeForest chimes in. He's closer to the Seahawks. I'm not sure how many wins they have against teams with winning records, but the two divisions, NFC West and AFC South, they're playing against this season aren't that good. And so the trick on that part is the Packers, The Texans are the only team that are they in the play? They're not in the playoffs at this
They're
moment.
still currently leading the AFC South.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
they're
the
in the
Texans
playoffs.
are the only team the Packers have beaten that is technically going to be a playoff team in theory as of today.
As of today, yes. Though they have the game against the Seahawks coming up, which they haven't played yet, and then the Cardinals, I believe, are still just outside the wild card spot.
They've lost 3 in a row.
The Cardinals, I believe so. They're 6 and 7 now.
They're stumbling a little bit. They kind of were the reverse Seahawks, where the Seahawks had a good start.
Well,
then
if the Rams
stumbled.
get in the playoffs,
Right, the Rams would be another one. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm just saying that the Packers don't have, and they played when you play teams matter as well. Neither one of these teams are going to be like writing home, bragging about their wins and losses this year. It's hard for me to nail down what these teams are. I think the biggest factor, and this is why I think Green Bay is the better team and will win this game, but having to go on the road in Seattle, it is a tough place to play.
Yeah.
They have a defensive-minded coach. Geno Smith is no slouch. Obviously, you talked about their running game as well. Their passing game is evolving. It's improving. So it's one of those where this game is going to be, I think, we look at the Detroit Lions game as a measuring stick, and that's what I wanted to get to here. This Seahawks game is a measuring stick to me. 844-770-3776. Are the Packers closer to the Seahawks or the Lions when you think about the best teams in the NFC? It is, Geno Smith is not having a
Yeah.
He's throwing for a lot of yards, but he's throwing a lot of interceptions.
70%, 3,500 yards basically.
But 14 touchdowns, 12 picks.
Yeah. And sacked 40 times.
Yeah. So that is kind of...
It's a lot for 13 games.
It is. And, well, especially when you count for the interceptions.
Right.
Like, if you're getting sacked a lot but you're not turning it over, then you can be like, okay, well, at least they're not making the decision of compounding a mistake.
Right.
But in this case, if you're getting sacked a decent amount and you're turning it over, that is obviously not as good as what you're looking for. Geno Smith, his last couple of games, he is a guy of the Jared Goff a cloth, if you will, and they run this offense of very high completion percentage, and he throws for a fair amount of yards. What he doesn't do is he doesn't
long passes.
He doesn't. Well, forget even that. He doesn't take care of the football. That's the
Right.
bigger issue. You don't have to throw long passes. It's he doesn't take care of the football. Even in these last 2 games or 3 games during this winning streak they've had, the 4-game winning streak, he has 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. His completion percentage is near 77, 75% during that window.
Right.
But the turnovers, and the Packers are a turnover team. Mm-hmm. That is why I think that they'll win the game. But I do think it's interesting that the Packers, like, it's not impossible they lose this game. Seattle's not a
Right.
dog here, and you have to go on the road to do it. That if they lose this game, you have to make a real conversation that they are closer to Seattle than they are to Detroit.
I mean, I honestly feel like you could make that argument now. The Packers, the Lions, super consistent, right? Haven't really had many downs. And when they did have a first half down against the Houston Texans, they rallied and came back with a win in the second half. So they're uber consistent. And you look at the Packers in Seattle, neither one screams consistency this season.
Yep.
Like, honestly, I might be swaying a little back. As much as I was confident that the Packers hanging with the Detroit Lions was a good enough argument to stand on, it's also a divisional game. You kind of expect these games to go a little bit better. Like, the Bears hung with the Lions. Not to say the Bears aren't a team that can't play well, but, like, they
Second half.
They get up more for division games.
Yep.
And right now, if you just look at the season and the way it's gone for both teams, the Packers and Seattle have a fairly similar look. Start okay, have a bit of a slump, come back, feel like you're bringing it around. And now you got these 2 teams that feel like they're bringing it around going head to head. I'm switching my vote. I'm going to go Seattle. They're closer to Seattle right now. That doesn't mean I don't think they can get good enough to like really compete with Detroit if we do get a 3rd game against them in the playoffs, and if we make the playoffs. But this, you're right. This is going to be a good like litmus test to see where this young team is at. Are they ready? Is this a team that's Super Bowl ready this year, or does it seem like a talented young group of guys that might be another year away from making it happen?
844-770-3776. Brett from Middleton. I think the Packers can beat the Seahawks if they take them serious. They're closer to them than the Lions. The good news is I'll be rooting for the Seahawks. And since I'm a Bears fan, I usually just root against whoever the Packers are playing. That's
another Haterade drinker
in Middleton. I will share my brother's thoughts on my theory as my daughter had her birthday party and my brother came to town, diehard Bears fan.
So you were still worked up by me calling you a hater, and you had to get your brother's take on it?
No, he listens to the show, so then he brought it back up.
You have family that listens to the show?
My brother listens regularly,
nice.
and his
and
his
only
wife.
my mother-in-law that listens to our show.
My wife doesn't listen, and my parents don't listen, but my brother listens regularly. He is a diehard sports fan. He would be the Chicago sports fan. He is a Brewers fan, White Sox fan. He likes the Bulls, but he's a big Bears fan, but he's just basically the reverse of you. He lives and dies with the team.
Yeah.
Everything is like so. Not without giving away his thoughts on it. We'll get that on the other side. Let me tell you about Carbon World Health. I actually just saw Nestor today, and it's great to kind of go over all the positive benefits I've experienced from being able to work out at Carbon World Health over the last 12 months. And then obviously you combine semaglutide, which has helped me keep weight off and help me lose weight, but then it helps you make healthier decisions because once you lose that weight, you don't want to gain it back, so you make those healthy decisions. That is the best way, the only FDA-approved way to lose weight. So don't be trying to kind of go by some fly-by-night random things you're hearing other people talk about. No, Carbon World Health and semaglutide is the best and only way that you want to lose weight at Carbon World Health in Sun Prairie and in Madison off Whitney Way. You also can ask about semaglutide. You can also ask them about cryotherapy, red light therapy. So when you're going to try to lose weight and you're going to try to be your best self, don't go to some random place. Go to a doctor and come up with a plan to lose weight. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Madison Weight Loss is having a huge holiday sale, almost 20% off, making it our lowest prices of the year. You can start the program before, during, or after the holidays. We know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no prepackaged meals, no injections or surgery. The secret is our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good. To learn how our clients on average lowered their metabolic age by 17 years, go to MadisonWeightLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation and learn why your metabolism may be sabotaging your weight loss goals. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com and save big now only through December 31st.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. The program with Madison Weight Loss was perfect for me to lose 40 pounds. Trust me, Madison Weight Loss is the real deal. And take advantage of the huge holiday sale with the lowest prices of the year now through December 31st. You can start the program now or after the holidays, but you need to call now to lock in the huge discount. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation. That's MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on Twitter for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, Why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands, when you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less?
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
There's a good chance if you watch sports, you're getting served information about hormone optimization. What does that even mean? Dr. Nestor Rodriguez at Carbon World Health can tell you exactly what hormone optimization means. He will take your blood work and let you know if it's right for you. If you're feeling sluggish, not losing weight like you used to, you're not gaining muscle like you used to, or you just don't feel like yourself in most aspects of your life, go see Dr. Nestor Rodriguez at Carbon World Health. In fact, sign up for the 6-week experience so you can see everything that Carbon World Health has to offer, including hormone optimization. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Tune in to Jim, Matt, and Molly every Friday for Fish Friday. Brought to you by Off-Broadway Draft House, Madison's favorite spot for a Friday fish fry.
He's coming out, 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 he's coming out. It's there.
Are the Packers closer to the Seahawks or the Lions? Lions are 12-1, currently the number 1 seed in the NFC. Seahawks 8-5, currently the 3 seed. Packers are the 6 seed as of now. 844-770-3776 is how you can hop in on that. You can watch the show on YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter at Jim Matt Molly. And you can listen back, Wisconsin on the Man, Apple, Spotify, any of those great places. He is Matt Hamilton. I am Jim Rutledge, Primetime Will Shine Behind the Glass, live from the Everlight Solar studio. And the Packers right now, as of today, are not where I think fans thought they were going to be, because right now they're not going to be a division winner, most likely. They are battling for, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility they could be the last playoff team, the same position they had last year. I'd be shocked if they don't have more wins. But I think even the most pessimistic Packer fans, Matt Hamilton, would have had the Packers as a team that would win, I would say, 10 or 11 games. Like, I had them at 11 wins. I feel good about that number.
Is that where you had them?
Yeah. I had them at 11.
What did they have last year? Was it 10 wins?
9.
They had 9 last year.
Yeah. So I thought 2-win increase is actually pretty remarkable. And I said this throughout, because I don't think the Packers are worse than they were last year. I just said what happens if the Packers are a better team, things don't break their way, they play teams at the wrong point, or, which has not really happened this year, they played teams, I think, like kind of a fair, like if you were going to shake it out, they've gotten some breaks, they've caught some bad breaks. But I would say that they are not the team that I think everyone thought they would be. It has a lot to do with teams in the division. I think Minnesota, maybe we underestimated. I said this before, that if Kirk Cousins was healthy, the Vikings probably make the playoffs. Packers miss the playoffs. Vikings take the Packers spot in the playoffs. And then we have different expectations going into this year. And Sam Darnold is probably an increase over Kirk Cousins as far as quarterback. I feel confident in saying that the Vikings made the right decision there. But setting aside the Vikings or everyone else, just overall quarterback play has been good from Jordan Love.
But it's like you said also last year, or how you predicted this year, Jordan Love just leveled out. He hasn't had the lows that he had last year, but he hasn't had those same highs yet. I'm just kind of taking a peek at the stats right now. Passing percentage, real similar to the completion percentage, 64 and 62 this year, 63 this year. You have less yards, obviously. You know, we have fewer games, but he's on pace to be pretty darn close to 4,000 again with the games he's missed. 8.5 yards versus, or 8.3 yards average versus 7.2 yards average last year. So that's really similar. And the interceptions at 11 last year, he's at 11 right now. There's no reason to think he can't go the rest of this regular season without throwing a pick. He did well last year. More likely than not, he'll get 1 or 2 more. Yeah. But he's only 11 touchdowns away from what he had last year. But this just seemed like a more consistent, like steady Eddie way of getting there than last year's roller coaster. This has been way more on the level.
Before we get to Jason Wilde, I'm going to just run down this list to you, and you just give me a yes or a no if you think they're better than Jordan Love this season. Not ceilings or anything like that. We're just going to do it right now. Lamar Jackson,
Lamar Jackson's better.
And just for the record, I'm running down QB ratings. I just click QB ratings. I'm just running down the list. All right?
Oh, gross. I hate
Jared
this.
Goff.
Jared Goff's better.
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold's better.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow's better.
Tua.
Probably Tua.
I wouldn't go Tua.
Really?
Yeah, I think Tua's. He's a guy that with a high completion percentage. I think it's kind of skews that. He's very efficient, but he's not.
Right, but I thought you were going off a rating.
No, but I'm running down. I'm going off rating. I'm saying for you though, we don't. Rating's just one thing.
Oh, so these guys are all ahead of him in rating.
I'm really running down the list.
I was just trying to be right.
No, sorry. I'm
No, I
literally
would
running
say
down the
Asking
list.
for your eye test, Matt.
I would say Jordan Love's better than Tua.
Okay, I agree. Russell Wilson.
Right now, I would say Jordan Love. Russell
Yes.
Wilson had a little bit of a stint there, but I'm going to say Jordan Love.
I agree with you. Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
That one, they're probably equals. Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Baker Mayfield.
Interesting. Baker's having a pretty decent year.
I'd honestly comp him with Love.
Yeah, I think it's pretty similar. I think you can go either way. I'll say Love, though.
Yeah, that's fine. Derek Carr, definitely Love. Jaden Daniels. This is not. This is off QBR or QB rating. Does not account for his rushing. But
Man, he's also been good. I still want to say Jordan Love. I just think he's a better pocket passer.
okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll say
Brock
Jordan
Purdy.
Love. Probably Brock, to be honest.
Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert.
And Matthew Stafford.
Oof. He didn't have his boys for a couple weeks. He was looking bad, but now that Kupp and Nakua seem to be healthy, I probably would give it to Matt Stafford.
All right. So, and then you have. I'll just ask you this one. I left them out. Patrick Mahomes.
Jordan Love. Patrick Mahomes, so many picks. Doesn't do anything until the fourth quarter. Just
Same amount of interceptions as Jordan Love.
Yeah, exactly.
In more games, which works against Jordan Love in that one.
It doesn't matter. 11's 11.
So you had the QB rating, QBR. They're just kind of funny to me because I think Jordan Love's just outside the top 10. I definitely would not put some of these quarterbacks, and some of those at the bottom would be an eye test sort of thing.
Right.
But to me, that's why the Packers are very similar team they were last year. They have not made a major jump forward because Jordan Love has not made a major jump forward. He's still a very good quarterback, but he did not jump into the elite status. And we can talk to Jason Wilde about that next.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Matt Hamilton here to tell you about my friends at Revive Restoration. Nobody plans for accidents to happen, but when they do, you can count on Revive to be professional, efficient, and detail-oriented as they make things right again. Revive Restoration.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Metro Ford of Madison is Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Whether you're in the market for a new or new-to-you vehicle, Metro Ford of Madison has the customer service that's second to none. Metro Ford is also the home of the 2 years no-charge maintenance offer on new vehicle purchases, making it the place to go for the new Ford of your dreams. Browse their inventory, schedule a service, or see this month's offers at MetroFordofMadison.com. That's MetroFordofMadison.com.
It's a new era for Wisconsin football fans.
The defense is not the problem on this team. You want to talk about continuity, which we talk about all the time? Getting rid of the defensive coordinator just because we're not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Taking the conversation digital with the Jump Around 3.0.
The defense on the whole for this year, it's not perfect. We need a higher standard. But again, I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
The Jump Around with Jim Rutledge, outfitted by Iron Jock Apparel. Streaming live every Thursday at 12:30 on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. UW Credit Union presents the Prep Mania Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Dennis Semrau with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Our ESPN Madison UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Truman Mankowski, Madison La Follette, a Lancer. What does it mean to you to be a Lancer?
It means take pride in what you're doing. Always looking to better yourself, better your team, better others, and just serve back.
What do you like about football? What attracted you to the sport? Yeah, you're a big guy. It kind of fits, right?
It was the aggressiveness, and it was also one of the sports my brother did, and I was just really passionate about it.
Your brother, Jackson, and 3 years older, but you got to play with him.
I did.
What kind of lessons did he teach you? I think you said something about him pushing you.
Oh, yeah. It was just do your best at all times. And if you don't do your best, because he's the only person that knew if I was actually trying my absolute best.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Jason, quick
You
question.
are one of one.
3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year.
Help me understand a little bit more clearly what you're asking.
Did you ever hear it called "Don't Go Jason Waterfalls"?
Is this Matt Hamilton?
So I kind of just thought of this question on the spot. So it needs to be workshopped a little. I'm not gonna lie.
That's the same as Matt.
Jason Wilde is on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
He's Matt Hamilton. I am Jim Rutledge. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Live from the Everlight Solar Studio. Watch us on YouTube. Listen back, Wisconsin, the Man, Apple, Spotify, any of those great places. We're now thrilled to be joined by Jason Wilde, who had a at least coverage-free weekend for football. So, Jason, how did you spend your weekend not having to watch the Packers?
Sydney had a couple of basketball games, got some stuff done around the house, went out to a meal, which we don't get a chance to do very often with our schedules and with the football season. So it was a lovely, lovely time. Went out for Mexican, and it was good, too. I'm really happy with my burrito. Thanks for asking.
That's fantastic. I was watching later in the night, I watched the Chiefs-Chargers game, and it kind of seemed like just a more laid-back version of the Packers-Lions game, more so at the end where Mahomes was able to, with the Chiefs, bleed out the clock. They get the kick. They're just a little bit better than the Chargers. And I remember watching that game being like, wow, the Chiefs are really kind of like the Lions. Just seem like two teams that are going to figure out how to win. And when you have one loss each team, you kind of just have to give them credit, however you're going to win. The Chargers are good, but they're just not as good. And they're, I think, a 4 or 5 loss team now. But then I looked at the schedule, and I'm like, how do I compare that to the Packers? And I go, oh, the Packers are playing the Seahawks, who are 8-5, and they just played the Lions. So I'll ask you the question we have as our poll question. Do you think the Packers are closer to the Lions, or do you think they're closer to the Seahawks in their play so far this year?
I think there's a pretty, in my mind anyway, and look, there's a lot of bad teams, right? Like, the NFL wants parity, but I kind of feel like there's more bad teams and fewer, like, pretty good. Like, if you go great, very good, good, pretty good, mediocre, bad, I feel like there's not as many pretty good teams where you're like, okay, like Seattle, for example, right, who is leading their division at 8-5 and lost 4 in a row at one point, and you were kind of like, okay, these guys are cooked, right? But they're in a bad division, and everybody's bad. So I would say this. I think there's, in my opinion, there are 2 potentially great teams, and those are the Lions and the Eagles. I know certain people have been perhaps dismissive of the Eagles. I am not one of them. Speaking of teams that people are being dismissive of, the Minnesota Vikings then are in the kind of the very good strata for me. And then the Packers are in the good strata, which would be the 4th spot. And I don't know, I think that I would put the Commanders in there too, but because they've won some good games, obviously, but they might lead the pretty good crowd, which is the 2 division leaders and them. And then there's a bunch of meh. And so, are the Packers closer to the Seahawks? No, I think they're pretty clearly better, and I reserve the right to change my mind if they go into Seattle and get beat. Because, look, I know this isn't as sexy as the Lions game, but this is a big one if you ask me. And so they really need to show up and play well and win this football game because, if they go 2-2 over the last 4, let's say they go to Seattle and lose, and they go to Minnesota and lose, and they beat the Saints, who is Carr out for the rest of the year now officially? I mean, they're bad regardless.
I haven't seen it, but
and then obviously the Bears are the Bears, and I certainly don't have to tell you that. But hey, you also can't take them lightly when they come into Lambeau. They might be trying to, earn Thomas Brown the job, or who knows, right?
I think they already lost him the job, but yeah.
Oh, that's fair. Certainly offensively when you have 2 yards at the half.
Yeah.
But my point is that if they go 2-2 and finish 11-6, they're kind of meh-ish too, right? So I feel like they have to go at least win 3 of the last 4. They're sitting at 12-5. I'm a bigger believer in the Vikings than other people. I am more than prepared to be exposed as being wrong on that too. Whereas old boy on our program is still very dismissive of them. So, but this is a big one. I will either have a lesser opinion or a better opinion of the Packers based on what happens on Sunday night.
So, Seattle touted as one of the hardest places to play. How much of a factor do you think just playing in Seattle is compared to like anywhere else? The 12th man, still a thing out there.
It's definitely still a thing. Now, I have not been out there in a while, and neither of the Packers. I was talking to Elton Jenkins today, and it dawned on me while we were – no, that's my job. I talked to Matt Hamilton today. He's an Olympic gold medalist. Well,
Did you tell
cool.
Elton Jenkins that you were talking with Matt Hamilton later? No. You were trying to flex. I love it. I think it's great.
I don't think he was bad, but that's right. Elton Jenkins is the flex.
I think so.
Yeah, I talked to
Marshall
Zane
Newhouse
Anderson. Talked to Zane Anderson earlier today. What would be all right? So here's who I talked to today. I talked to Tucker Kraft,
flex,
Matt LaFleur.
Okay, obviously.
Okay.
Jaden Reed.
Man.
Okay.
Zane Anderson.
Okay.
Elton Jenkins. Oh, and then I talked to Sean Clifford about the Big Ten championship game because he went to Indianapolis to go see that game along with Rasheed Walker and Evan Williams, who obviously went to Oregon, who I think went, but he's in the concussion protocol, so maybe he didn't. So those are any of those flexes, because I got to be honest with you, Matt, I know you're a Packers fan, so you view this as like a big deal, but these are just people I work with.
I was just going to say, it's just cool it's just a reminder how cool your job is to some people.
Yeah, and
right.
I guess
and how
I was
lucky
just reminded.
I am to do it. No doubt. Look, you no offense, you don't get paid as much as they do, but those guys are never going to win a gold medal. So to me,
they chose the wrong sport,
and
they chose to make millions instead of being on a radio show.
Well, some might say you're far more blessed to be on this radio program. Anyway, if I could get back to this,
I'd
like to go back to Tuesdays when you have like a 10-minute show. They have not played in Seattle. I was talking to Elton Jenkins. We're picking up where I left off.
Yeah.
And it dawned on me while we were talking that, have you ever even played in Seattle? And he said, no. He's like one of the few veterans that they even have on this team, right?
Right.
Second-round pick in 2019. So I'm guessing it's only Jair and Kenny Clark are the only two Packers that have played in a game in Seattle. Maybe Brandon McManus kicked there once, perhaps. But so they don't know how. I mean, it is, obviously I was there for here's a flex for you, the NFC Championship game that they lost in 2014. And it is a loud outdoor stadium. It is, I think they're right when they say they're the loudest indoor stadium or outdoor stadium in football. But again, like, I don't know how good the Seahawks are this year. Like, Geno Smith throws the football a lot. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't delved further into them, but like, I would think that the noise factor is directly proportional with how good their team is on that day. And I'm guessing that they can also be very loud booing if their team is playing like garbage. So it's a tough place to play historically. We'll see how the Packers handle it on Sunday night.
Talking with Jason Wilde on Jim, Matt, and Molly, and it is funny you talked about storylines for this game, and it feels like not that long ago John Schneider would have been such a major storyline. I talked to former Badger Lamar Soup Campbell, who now works with Seattle, and I just realized that there used to be, I know, right? Used to be a lot more Badger, a lot more Wisconsin connections, whether it was Badger or Packer or otherwise out in Wisconsin. He said to him and John still talk about, different, if they get back to the state or different things from being in the state. But that's been kind of changed too. That this rivalry, especially because Russell, a Badger, was out there, has kind of just dissipated over the years.
It has, and obviously they were facing each other on a regular basis. There was still a fair amount of crossover. Obviously, there were some pretty rough memories for Packers fans and, frankly, Packers players who were part of the 2014 team that lost. I mean, obviously, we now have on our team the great Brian Bulaga, who was in that 2014 NFC Championship game. So he has not forgotten what that was like. I'm sure that'll come up for him at some point during the week. But, yeah, that used to be, like, first of all, that was one of my favorite trips. I love Seattle. So I'm a little bit jealous that this is a trip that I'm not going on. There aren't many. I wasn't bummed that I wasn't in Detroit last week on a Thursday. The game was great. It would have been great to cover it in person. But, like, it's just a great town and a great supporting fan base. Like, I really enjoyed covering games there, and not just because they have a Starbucks in the press box.
They're everywhere.
Okay.
Another flex.
Yeah. Well done, Jason. You're really getting the hang of this now.
You would think I'd be more muscular with all the flexing I do.
This is coming from Matt, who does. I mean, he'll come back from his celebrity golf outing and be like, "I hung out with the seventh on The Office," and like, no, I'm messing with you, but like,
you're just omitting Ken Griffey Jr. Okay,
all
okay,
right, all right.
Matt, weren't
you hung out with Ken Griffey Jr.?
I mean, I call him Griff, but yeah.
Name drop.
You call him the kid?
No,
the kid.
So, Jason, part of what I've been, so I have a teammate who is a Seattle fan. He's grew up in Alaska, lives in Seattle now, fan of Seattle. So, aside from the Vikings, I pay attention to Seattle as well. So, when the trash talking happens on the road, I know what I'm talking about. The Seahawks, they had some struggles kind of similar to the Packers' struggles early in the season last year. And their idea for the switch is they're going a little bit more run-heavy lately to passing, even though Geno, it does seem like he's throwing out a million passes a game. They're actually running the ball more. And I'm concerned that if the Packers, I feel like typically their Achilles heel is the run game. Now, they did a pretty good job against the Lions, a little bit of extra time to recover. What are you thinking the Achilles heel is for the Packers this week? What that the Seahawks would need to exploit?
Good question. As you mentioned, after I mentioned, the amount that Geno Smith is throwing the football, right? Like, I don't know. I have no idea what the expectation is or should be for Jair Alexander's availability, right? And we know DK Metcalf is a very good player. We know Tyler Lockett, who's been a good player for a long time, is a good player. But Jackson Smith and Jigba, like, that's one of those. Isn't he one of those like 18 different Ohio State wide receivers who come into the league the last few years and been really good?
Yep.
I think he's leading them in receiving. And as you mentioned, they're not afraid to hand the ball off. I thought, how do I say his last name? Charbonnet.
Yeah.
He's like Ryan Wollersheim, the sommelier, Charbonnet. Like they got him a bunch of carries yesterday. Like, they've got a pretty well balanced offense, even as much as they throw the football. Like they do, when Walker is healthy and playing well, he's a pretty damn good back too. So I think the Achilles heel, to answer your question, is what is their pass defense going to be? And is Jair Alexander going to be available? And if not, is Eric Stokes going to have to play more? And, oh, by the way, Matt LaFleur said that the injury to Javon Bullard is week to week, which means he's probably not playing this week. And so now what does their secondary look like? Both the rookie safeties are going to be on the injury report on Wednesday. Evan Williams is in the concussion protocol. By the way, Romeo Doubs is still in the concussion protocol, which is a little bit disconcerting. Javon Bullard's got his injury. He's not going to play, so we don't know what Williams' availability will be. Zane Anderson, flex, could be playing safety. But if you don't have Jair, at some point you're putting Eric Stokes on the field. And Eric Stokes, he's such a nice kid. I don't say this with any joy in my heart, but he hasn't been very good.
No.
Right? I mean, Patrick exploited him on Thursday night. So I just that would be a big concern for me. That would feel like the Achilles heel. And by the way, Geno Smith, for a guy who's throwing the ball a heck of a lot, has completed 69.5% of his passes. Like, his passer rating's not great because he's only got 14 touchdowns and 12 picks, but he's taken a ton of sacks.
Yep.
But he's not a bad quarterback. You got to watch out for these Jets cast-offs. You got them twice in the last 4 games, and you don't want to lose to them after they've been dismissed.
Jason, you were mentioning some of the people that might possibly be injured. Was there any word on Wicks? Because he kind of looked rattled getting up, but I didn't see him on any concussion protocol or anything.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur said he's fine. So Bill Huber asked about him, and LaFleur said there's nothing. He's not injured, so he's fine.
Good news.
Just so Geno went from 50 passes a game to 30-something. So they still throws it plenty.
Yeah.
So they definitely cut it down. No, just so you're
interesting.
Yeah. So that's kind of where their 4-game losing streak, it was 56, 45, 52. Their 4-game winning streak, 32, 31, 31, 30. So it's kind of gone from
sounds like a better balance.
Insane amount of throwing the football to a more normal amount.
Now it's 3 parts out of 5 for passing.
No, so they balanced it out. I was just giving the context of how much they've changed
3 parts out of 5. What do you got, an abacus in there?
He's tried a few times to be.
There's 50. They're running roughly 50, 55 plays, and it's 30 and 20 as opposed to 50 and 10, which is what they were doing when they were losing. That's all I was saying.
Okay. Seattle Seahawks beat reporter Matt Hamilton.
Well, no. Trust me, I like talking trash as much as the next guy, and when you've got teammates that all are watching their own games, you got to know a little bit. It's like Mark Wahlberg learning ballet to make fun of people that do ballet.
Okay.
And the other guys.
Name drop.
Flex.
Once played golf with them.
So I heard this all the time with, and I do think there's something to it, but, Brett Bielema, he brags a lot about a lot of dumb things, but he would always say that, hey, after
Just
teams.
like math.
Right. After that was the ultimate insult to be compared to to Brett Bielema, who's twice your size, Matt, is a nasty insult there. So
Justin's gonna get it later.
But he would always say that the teams that played the Badgers the next week would lose or have a bad game or not play up to their normal levels.
I remember that,
and I think. I thought it was good for the Packers that they were able to play 2 games that obviously these NFL games they had, the San Francisco 49ers and Dolphins, where those were not knockdown, drag-em-out fights. The Detroit game looked more like one of those fights. Is there a concern whether it's injuries or letdown or any of those physical and mental things carrying to Seattle when you're playing in the weird time zone in a tough stadium after a kind of a letdown loss, after a physically beating game?
Yeah.
Is that something that could be a factor?
No doubt. I mean, Tausch always talks about emptying the bucket, and he obviously played in the league for 11 years, so he knows what he's talking about there. And that there is I don't know if he would use the word letdown, but if you empty the bucket, it's hard to get it refilled in time for the next game. Now, of course, they had 3 days off.
Yep.
They had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, and so that obviously helps you, kind of refill a little bit, but. I'm super interested in this game. If I'm being honest, am I super interested in the Monday night game against the Saints? Not really. I'm more interested in what we're going to have, at the Tundra Trio and then all the fun stuff and who's going to be there and everything else. But that was a game that I thought when the schedule came out, that might be a team that would maybe win their division or get their act together in kind of their, in their post. Sean Payton era. That obviously has not been the case for them. They've been a mess. And I'm definitely not giddy about the Bears game other than talking to our friends on ESPN Chicago. I always look forward to those weeks. But the two sexy games are two road games. They're at Seattle and at Minnesota. And I think I'm going to Minnesota, which I always love that trip as well. But I am all in on those two games because I think those are the two games that we will find out the most about this team. And I would just add this, that we had one, I'm mining the YouTube comments now during the show because I want people to feel involved. And I have to say, somebody pointed this out that, it's a little crazy to say this, but 13 games into the season, maybe we still don't really know what this team is. And I think there's some truth to that, frankly, right? I mean, they don't have a real signature win. They don't have a whole lot of things to really look back and say, okay, this is where we showed who we are against a really good team. I am really very intrigued to see what they're able to do.
I'm with you. We've got a lot to talk about throughout the week. Jason, thanks so much for joining us.
All right, guys, take care. Be good.
Matt, tell us about Metcalf's Market.
Can't say enough good things about Metcalf's Market. I took a pork shoulder home from them the other day, smoked it last night. It was fantastic. And if you're looking for that Piedmontese beef, only available at Metcalf's or any of the other great items in their meat section, go check it out. They've also got specialty cheeses, some of the best produce in town. And if you sign up for Metcalf's Market Rewards, you too can save money getting the better stuff for your fridge. So go check out Metcalf's Market and bring local home.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Starion Bank, with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona. Starion Bank is here investing in your community. Start your experience at starionbank.com. Member FDIC.
Per ESPN's Adam Rittenberg, Wisconsin football finding their OC in Kansas assistant Jeff Grimes. Padded resume for the coach with nearly 30 years experience. At Kansas, averaging just over 33 points per game in that 3-year stint. Before, Grimes led the Baylor Bears offense to the Big 12 championship in 2021. The BYU Cougars' 3rd best scoring offense in the nation in 2020. Grimes also a solid history in the run game column and also the O-line. Is it back to the ways of running the rock? Only time will tell next fall.
If you're not getting windows from Santa, get as low as $19 per window and $81 per patio door per month. HellaWI.com.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Free Food Friday on ESPN Madison is brought to you by Vintage Brewing Company. Whether you're looking to get carry-out, delivery, or dine-in, Vintage Brewing has lots of great options on their menu. Vintage Brewing Company prides themselves on being a great place to hang out and enjoy classic Midwestern hospitality. Vintage Brewing Company has multiple award-winning beers, so be sure to try one the next time you're in. Head to vintagebrewingcompany.com to make a reservation today. That's vintagebrewingcompany.com.
Seems like gift season kind of snuck up on us, but Fleet Farm's ready to help. For the griller on your list, the Pit Boss Sportsman 500 pellet grill is now $249.99. For the pizza lover, the Biaggia Pizza Oven is just $79.99. Plus, Milwaukee deal days are happening all week long. So save on the hottest Milwaukee tools, like the N12 2-tool combo kit for just $99. Stop in soon and wrap up your gift list at Fleet Farm, home of the best prices, guaranteed.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Tonight on Monday Night Football, you can root for the Bengals, led by Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Bart Simpson. Matt Hamilton, can you give me a Bart Simpson impersonation?
Eat my shorts.
That is pretty good. You can cheer on the Cowboys. Nobody's doing that here in Wisconsin, led by Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, Trayvon Diggs, and Homer Simpson. No, don't. You could have done that one for when you didn't turn your mic on to start everything. The Simpsons Fun Day Football will be a true family affair and streams tonight on Disney Plus and ESPN Plus. It's a real-time animated Monday Night Football game featuring the Bengals and Cowboys in the iconic Simpsons cartoon world. I will say this as someone who has the Disney Plus app and ESPN Plus. The fact that ESPN is now in Disney Plus, elite. It is fantastic. Just one less app I have to worry about. I can just manage everything that really exists in my house through either Disney or ESPN Plus. It's kind of the whole household. The game will feature dozens of Simpsons iconic characters: Lisa, Krusty, Moe, and more. Who is your favorite non-big time one? So not Homer or Bart, because I think those are 2 stars.
Yeah, I'm blanking on the character's name. Who's the one that's always trying to kill Bart with the crazy hair?
Oh no, is that Krusty the Clown?
No.
No, Mr. Sideshow Bob. It's his helper, Sideshow Bob.
That's my favorite character because
he's played by Frasier.
Well, and he's always messing with Bart's his nemesis, so it's like they're Bart heavy episodes anyway.
I like on that show that Frasier voiced Sideshow Bob, but then I believe Sideshow Bob had a brother who was voiced by Niles, which was from the Frasier show. So I always enjoyed that little nod to those who are complete nerds in that thing. I always liked Moe. But it was the Super Bowl. The Simpsons were on before the Super Bowl, and the Atlanta Falcons were playing, and I can't remember who, but the Simpsons did a special episode about the Super Bowl ahead of time. But obviously it's animated shows, so you can't just make things happen quickly. So there's a scene where they talk about the game, and they're like, Moe is at the bar, obviously, and he holds, I'll do it here on the piece of paper, but he basically lifts a mug in front of his mouth and says, "I'm excited to see the Atlanta Falcons," because play the Denver Broncos, but they had to cover his mouth twice, so and they made it a point to make it kind of an awkward sort of cut in for the voice. It was amazing. Plus, going on tonight, each Bengals and Cowboys player will appear as an animated player for the special primetime matchup. See every snap, run, pass, and score, and more from the real-life Bengals and Cowboys matchup, all in the Simpsons world. I'm always trying to get my kids to watch sports with me. Taylor Swift helps, but Simpsons will help even more. Stream on Disney Plus and ESPN Plus and on your mobile devices with NFL Plus starting at 7 o'clock. Grab your kids, your family, and your friends to make this game one you all can enjoy together. That's an easy one. Tonight's not a bath night at the Rutledge House. If there's a bath night, no screens. If it's not a bath night, screens.
Right.
I think I will be able to.
Okay.
It makes life very simple at home. So this will be one we can watch this game together.
I'm honestly stoked for all the players because how many people don't want to be a cartoon, especially an iconic one like Simpsons?
844-770-3776. I want to ask this question. Who is your favorite Simpsons character? 844-770-3776. You're going Sideshow Bob.
Well, Bart's the favorite, obviously. But
is Bart your favorite?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why Sideshow Bob is my second favorite, because they're typically Bart-heavy episodes.
Can I be honest with you? You sound a lot like Marge's sisters.
Oh, yeah, I've gotten that.
Who have the smoker's voice. So that would be, I think, Selma is one of them. Yeah, so I would say that you give off maybe Ryan can, during the break, he can find the audio of the sisters talking.
Patty and Selma?
Yep, Patty and Selma, that Matt sounds like.
All right, if you find it, I'll come back there. I'll also learn the line, and I'll say it first. And we'll see. You can predict. Did Ryan play that off the sound clip, or was that Matt Hamilton?
They hate Homer is kind of the punchline there. Mr. Burns, Sideshow Bob. There was so many. The
comic book guy.
Yeah, Chief Wiggins. Milhouse. I mean, there's so many characters. 844-770-3776. Who is your favorite Simpsons character?
Smithers.
Yeah, Mr. Burns and Smithers. I think Homer. When I was a kid, obviously Bart Simpson.
Let's go
family,
non-Simpsons family
can
characters.
I just get into this for a second?
Because Homer, obviously, always good. Bart's always good.
Yeah.
Marge is hilarious.
Yeah.
Maggie might be secretly the best.
Lisa. We sleep on Lisa. They put out I was a huge Simpsons stan. I still watch them now, but I don't think they make music anymore. I had a tape. I mean, it's the old but they had a tape where the Bart man was on it.
Okay.
And I will say one of the most humiliating things I've ever seen in my life, secondhand embarrassment that I will never forget. And I wasn't the person on stage, was when someone, and I know his name, I won't say his name, but that's how heavy the secondhand embarrassment was. When someone got on stage in overalls that they bedazzled and did the Bartman dance for the talent show.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, right? It hurts me to say it like it happened.
Was it good?
I don't know. I was laughing and crying too hard. It was, I think, 8th grade. I mean, the prime time not to take a risk like that.
Yeah.
The same talent show, someone did Ugly Kid Joe's I Hate Everything About You, and that obviously won the show. I mean, that was amazing.
Right.
Apparently, that's pretty easy to play, is what I was told afterwards. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I had the tape. Lisa had a couple jazz songs on the tape. It was a good tape. So 844-770-3776. Outside of the Simpson family, who is your favorite Simpson? I think that's the easiest way to do it. Ryan, do you? I mean, any of them? Bart?
I mean, I know the main 5.
We're saying outside that.
That's tough for me, guys. I got to be honest.
God. So young.
I know. I hate him a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad I could help.
Yeah, you also can chime in and just tell Ryan he sucks for not knowing these Simpsons characters. 844-770-3776 is how you get into the show. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Listen to Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin on 100.5 ESPN.
So I'm tired and grumpy the last 2 days, you're mad. Today I'm jolly as St. Nick and you're mad. Look, I can't please you two.
You're not as jolly as St. Nick.
Sounded jolly.
Wilde and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by Grassland Dairy, Hallman Lindsay Paints, Coors Light, Made to Chill, and American Family Insurance.
This is former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a good Karma Brands radio station on Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center update brought to you by the 608 Basketball Tournament, December 13th and 14th at Madison College, the premier boys basketball showcase in Madison, featuring the best teams from around the state and Division I recruits. Purchase discounted presale tickets now at 608basketball.com. And then also going on this weekend, the Packers back in action after an extended break following their loss to the Lions on Thursday Night Football. Packers taking on the Seahawks this weekend. We're asking here on Jim, Matt, and Molly, are the Packers closer to the Lions or the Seahawks when it comes to NFC contenders this year? Make sure to stay tuned for the second half of Jim, Matt, and Molly's. We continue to discuss the Packers, and also head over to ESPNWisconsin.com for more news, notes, and coverage heading into Sunday Night Football out in Seattle. Packers currently 3-point favorites as they take on the 8-5 Vikings. Also, listen back to Jason Wilde as he just appeared on Jim, Matt, and Molly to discuss the Packers-Seahawks matchup and much more about the green and gold. Also, Wisconsin football news, Wisconsin quarterback Tyler Van Dyke entering the transfer portal after suffering a torn ACL in last year's loss to Alabama. And then outside linebacker Daryl Peterson announcing that he will return for one final season. Second hour of Jim, Matt, and Molly starts right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
It's Murr.
I'm the flower, it's
Mister. You know, when I tease, I like to deliver. Well, don't quote me on that.
Oh, no, it's quoted. That's safe.
Sometimes the tease is better than the deliver. I did properly and correctly predict that game. And I'm not taking a lot of credit because I've done this before.
Robert Saleh has not done anything with the Jets since he's been there. You can only be so good when you've got people at the top who are bad.
Don't even.
It ain't Aaron Rodgers' fault.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
We asked a question at the end of the last hour. Who is your favorite Simpsons character? In honor of Monday Night Football having a broadcast, a Simpsons broadcast of the game. That's on Disney Plus, ESPN Plus. He's Matt Hamilton. I am Jim Rutledge. Get into the show, 844-770-3776. You can chime in with your favorite Simpsons character. Our also main question of the day was, are the Packers closer to the Seahawks or the Lions at this point? We asked Jason Wilde about that. You can listen back, Wisconsin on Demand, Apple, Spotify, and those great places to find out his answer. You can watch us on YouTube right now. You can also follow along at Jim Matt Molly, at ESPN Madison, as different ways to follow along with the show. We are presented by Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
Prime, what were you doing live from the Everlight Solar Studio? You just chatting on the phone during the break there or what?
I was, because I was fielding a call from one of our callers, the great Ryan, the psychedelic advisor, actually.
Oh, nice. He's placing an order or what?
No, he wasn't placing an order.
You were.
No, he might be placing an order for something later on, though. But anyways, he wanted to call in to talk about his favorite Simpsons character.
Of course.
And so beforehand, I asked him, like, oh, well, I got to screen the call. I got to know which one you're coming up with. Is it good enough to be on the air?
Yeah.
Turned out it wasn't. Because it wasn't a Simpsons character. He told us, he said, oh, what's that guy? He's kind of the weirdo guy. He's always like neighborhood, kind of like always laughing, weird big chin. And I'm like, that's a Simpsons
King
character?
of the Hill?
No. And he goes, oh, Quagmire.
Oh,
Quagmire, okay. That guy's awesome. And I'm like, wait, what? Wait, that's a Family Guy guy. I'm sorry, you can't. That's not the right answer.
Right. Yeah, that would have been funny to bring him in.
Well, I wanted to bring him back on, but then he got embarrassed, and I said, well, do you have a Simpsons character? And he backed out and ran away.
That's fair. I get that.
Chris from Anniswich Waters chimes in, I love Flanders. He's so annoying, it's hysterical, and the dude is jacked. That is true.
Okay.
JJ in Poinette says, got to go with Flanders and Mo. JJ in Poinette also said Ralphie. 844-770-3776. His favorite, Sadler chimes in, his favorite is the bus driver, Otto. And so that's another one as well. 844-770-3776. Chime in with your favorite, basically non-Simpsons member, Simpson family member of the show Simpsons.
Who's the bully? That goes,
Nelson.
All right. Yeah, Nelson, that's the one.
That was an incredible
know so
impression.
much more.
Yeah, no, I kind of lost it.
It's more like that, yeah.
I thought I had it, and the voice box went
He
by.
would do that to you with how bad
Right.
your impression
That was a bad one, yeah.
844-770-3776 is how you get into the show. You can chime in with your favorite non-Simpson family member of The Simpsons. And we also asked the question, are the Packers closer to the Lions or the Seahawks? And realistically, we're going to know the answer to it. Because if the Packers lose, you got to go closer to the Seahawks. I still think they're better than the Seahawks. But if they lose, then there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're closer to the Seahawks than they are the Lions.
Right.
57% of you say closer to the Lions, which means 43% of you said closer to the Seahawks. Craigery chimes in. How is this even a question? I don't know, because the Seahawks have 5 losses and the Packers have 4. They literally played 4 days ago at Detroit's house and lost by a field goal as time expired. I'd say they're very close to Detroit. I don't know. Detroit's beat your ass 6 out of 7 times, 5-1 since 2022. So maybe that was the aberration game. But it's a question, Greg, because we don't live in a silo and we don't live in an echo chamber. And what kind of life are you leading if you don't want to live the explored life of asking a damn question of, I don't know. And you know why it's a good question? He's mad about it.
Yeah.
Because right now, Seahawks are the 3 seed. Packers are the 6 seed. And that's the division you play in. But still, there's a 1-loss difference. We will find out on Sunday. So that's how it's a question, Gregory. I don't like dumb questions. I don't like dumb responses, Matt Hamilton.
Yeah, I can tell. I have something that might cheer you up, though.
Okay.
Totally off base, totally random. Ryan had the best date and a half of his life this weekend.
What?
Yeah.
Go on.
Primetime Wollersheim. Ryan, should I explain this, or do you want to explain this?
I'd prefer you did. You were there. You watched.
So
you actually helped set up the dates.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
so,
please go on.
sorry, Daniel the landscaper, but I'm a better wingman because I got Ryan a date and a half this weekend.
All right.
The downside is the date is a food, and it was wrapped in bacon and had andouille and gorgonzola cheese in it.
What do you do? It wasn't gorgonzola. It was blue cheese. There's gorgonzola in there too.
No, it was gorgonzola. It wasn't blue.
That makes sense. Those were delicious. But I thought you were just gonna say the only problem is Ryan ate his date. Like, what are you doing?
I really dropped the ball there.
Come on.
Couldn't even wait to take his date home. He ate it right there in front of us.
Right in front of the whole restaurant.
Fantastic though. Ryan actually met us, me and Derek the Colts fan
That's
out
right,
for
yeah.
a beer after the show. We ended up having dinner there.
I believe I not literally almost ran into Derek the Colts fan, but he.
Yeah, I told him I told him your car was leaving as we were walking back to our cars. Go.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, that's Jim. If you want to say hi," and he made sure he got to
Gotcha, because
the
I
gate.
saw him and I was like, I recognize that guy, and then he looked. I thought it was because of the license plate, but
Oh no, he actually noticed the big
blue truck from
blue
Simon
truck from
Chevy,
Simon Chevy.
in Mount Horeb. I'm gonna get the windows tinted on it soon. I'm excited for that. I've just been dragging my feet on that, so I gotta make
Are
it
you going
fully
to go
the-
legal, or are you going to go past the legal limit and then kind of just say you're sorry and not ask permission, so to speak?
I believe, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Because honestly, all I don't go crazy because I'm not going to have them untint the back windows. I just say whatever the back
Well, the
tint
back's
is.
allowed to be darker,
Right, so
than
I
the
just say
front.
match it to the front. But I'm not. It's
That's
not one of
going
those.
to be illegal.
But I've seen some where this is illegal. There's different things of if the cop wants to be a jerk illegal, which
Right.
is what mine will be. Yes, it's illegal.
So you're not getting limousine tint.
No, because I'd have to match the back to it, and I don't want to spend. Then I'm spending $1,000. This is $250 to do the 2 front windows, and then I'll do which is also illegal. I do kind of a visor sort of tint.
Yeah, so
but I go below the line where it says you can have the visor tint. But again, the line is so high, it's pointless. It does actually serve as a little bit of a deterrent of the sun if you put it down a little lower. But so I go below that line too. You have to sign a little waiver.
Man, you are just living on the edge, and I think you're going to have some illegal tint in that car.
I will. 844-770-3776. Someone who would appreciate that is our friend Ryan, the psychedelic advisor, who has called in. Hey, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm back.
All right.
I'm back.
Giggity, giggity.
I screwed up the first time I was thinking the wrong thing, Quagmire, and I screwed up. But the one of the characters that I like, he was voiced by Jonah Hill. His name was Andy Hamilton, and he was the previous town bully
In The Simpsons?
I just thought it was, yeah.
I didn't even know that. That might be my new favorite character.
What?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's a newer character because it was voiced by Jonah Hill, but
Right.
Yeah. I did not know that either. Learn something new every day.
But it's something I just happen to be watching. I just happen to be flipping through some of the old Simpsons.
Hey,
Or the newer, whatever.
Yeah, we're here for those random bits of information.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Ryan.
it.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan.
thank
He
you.
calls in and
Take
gives
it easy.
the
Later.
great information there. Jason in DeForest chimes in with Barney the Town Drunk is his favorite. He's a good one.
What's the name of the guy who owned the bar?
Mo.
Oh, that's Mo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would say, I just want to share this a little bit.
Do you know
We'll
what
get
the
to break.
bar's called?
Duff.
Moe's.
Oh.
Duff is the beer.
Oh, that's
Duff
right.
is the Coors Light of the.
I actually have a Duff mug that I bought at Orlando Universal Studios.
Poser.
Yes, very much so.
No, Duff Man, pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Duff Man was good. Yeah.
Duff Man, can't breathe. Oh, no.
I believe Duff Man was played by the guy who did a ton of voices, Hank Azaria.
Oh, I know the name.
He was married to Helen Hunt. was maybe the third or fourth lead character on Mad About You. He's Scuba, the scuba guy in Along Came Polly. Do you scuba?
Yeah.
That guy who fornicated with Ben Stiller's wife, and then they got divorced.
And Along Came Polly.
844-770-3776.
Spoilers.
That movie's long enough old. I think there's no spoilers to be given there. But The Simpsons. I don't know, Matt, for you, but when The Simpsons came out, like Bart Simpson was controversial. Like my mom did not like that I liked Bart because he had the T-shirts that like underachiever and proud of it, and like he was kind of like this kind of not even like the bad boy stuff he did. He just wasn't like a kind of
back to adults,
but also like a nomad in school and like didn't do well, and like that was like, oh my god, I can't believe kids are watching this cartoon, this edgy cartoon where Bart Simpson says, "Eat my shorts." I mean. Clutch your pearls, Matt Hamilton. It's hilarious to me thinking back because that's like everyone's got these moments, but thinking back to like what was considered incredibly controversial, like people wanted to ban The Simpsons from the air to your time now, and I'm not even saying it's worse. I'm just saying it's funny because we always have these markers. I'm sure your parents have these markers of like the idea of like a skirt can't go above the knees as far as length, like all these sort of things. And I think I always find it hilarious where we just draw these imaginary lines in the sand.
I do have a Simpsons flex for you, though.
Yes.
So, Team Schuster, obviously, in 2018, won the Olympic gold. Well, against Sweden. Well, the Simpsons, before that happened, because they predict everything, they had the Simpsons curl in an Olympics. They beat the Swedish team for gold medal. They got silver. They were wrong about the bronze team, but they got the top of the podium. And I think it was the writers got a hold of like Schuster or Tyler or something and sent us all a print of the podium with like the family on the gold, the Swedish team, and then the Russians got bronze in the show. But they sent us a still from that episode, and yeah, I've got it framed at home. It's pretty cool.
That is awesome. Yeah,
I wish it was like us as characters, but like the still from the show is still like pretty amazing. So it was cool that they paid attention, and they another thing the Simpsons predicted correctly.
There you go. Let's hope they keep that up. Tell me about Revive Restoration.
Revive Restoration has got my gym back in working order. I had mold in there, called up Revive Restoration, and they said, "Don't worry, we got you, Matt." They're quick, efficient, and detail-oriented as they got my gym back on track again, and they can do the same for you or your business. So check out RevivePros.com. See the whole gambit of things they have to offer: mold remediation, fire damage remediation, maybe it's asbestos removal, and a whole lot more. They also have the 24-hour Help Me Now hotline. Like, that imperative. My friend Phil, he had a flooded basement. 3 days later, it was dry, torn down to the studs, ready to get his life back on track. So check out RevivePros.com or call Revive Restoration and tell them Jim, Matt, and Molly sent you.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
Hey, it's ESPN Madison's Molly Brown. You've heard Jim Rutledge talk about Carbon World Health for years now about his experience with semaglutide, their 6-week experience, and all the ways he's changed his body and health. And I'm so excited to get my journey started at their new location in Sun Prairie at the Prairie Lakes Shopping Center. It's more of a med spa vibe there, so they've got the Botox, the injections, M-Sculpt, IV therapy, all the things. Go check them out. Tell them Molly from Jim, Matt, and Molly sent you.
Hi, it's Eric from Canopy Wealth Management. Our years of experience have prepared us to guide you through your life transitions. Our local professional team brings over 90 years of collective experience in the wealth management industry for the benefit of our clients. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started on your financial future today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Step into nostalgia with the Miller High Life Dive Bar of the Week. Listen to Jim, Matt, and Molly every Thursday to find out where you can enjoy $2 Miller High Lifes and High Life Lights. To celebrate our love for dive bars, we are going to tell you about some of our favorites, featuring one extra special dive bar that will have $2 High Lifes on special for the week. Taste the champagne of beer in its natural environment. A delightfully different dive bar in Wisconsin like Argus Bar and Grill, Paoli Pub, The Nitty Gritty in Madison, and Scotty Bar.
Hey, it's Hunter Vaughn. ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best high school sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see teams making an impact in their community. Nominate your local team today at ESPNMadisonGameChangers.com.
Home practice is about to begin. Your daughter's new tap shoes? Loud. Your son's new tuba? Louder. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with $50 overdraft Greystone. So if you lose track of expenses buying some noise-canceling and sanity-saving headphones, we've got your back. You got this with $50 overdraft Greystone from Associated Bank. See AssociatedBank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Cousin Subs is spicing things up this fall with a new sub and a delicious shake. The Chipotle Cheesesteak Sub with either grilled-to-order chicken or steak features pepper jack cheese, sauteed green peppers and onions, jalapenos, and Chipotle ranch dressing. And that's not all. Pair your Chipotle cheesesteak with a delicious mint shake and your taste buds will fall in love. Order in-store, online, or via the mobile app. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Yo, hey, what's happening, dude? I'm a guy with a rep for being rude, terrorizing people wherever I go. It's not intentional, just keeping the flow. Fixing test scores to get the
Now, this is the Bartman. If you were listening to the last segment, and you can listen back to Wisconsin on the Man, Apple, Spotify, Wisconsin, any of those great places. So
this is what your classmate did?
Yeah, classmate. So
in bedazzled overalls?
Yes. He's with white gloves. He's Matt Hamilton. I'm Jim Rutledge. He had the build. Now, I'm not saying this is a relative or their name was similar to Ryan's. It was not. But they had the build of Ryan. Just picture like a tall, lanky kid who loved The Simpsons. And this is where in your life
this is Napoleon Dynamite, but with like a Simpsons dance, basically.
So much better in Napoleon Dynamite than this was. So just picture someone in his life that didn't have anyone someone in your life that didn't have anyone in their lives to be like, no, this is not a good idea. Whether it's mom or dad or brother or someone be like, sorry, son, I'm just going to tell you now you don't want to do this. But he did.
Yeah.
It's never forgotten. I cannot be the only person. I guarantee if you called people who graduated Cedarburg High School in 1998, who at least went to Webster Middle School in, gosh, it would have been probably 98, so 93, 94, they would know, they would say the name immediately. If you called and said, hey, who did this dance? They'd be like, Pop, Pop. And that's 844-770-3776. I would say call in and tell us humiliating things you saw your classmates do, but I don't want any names. And I'm not like making fun of this kid. It's one of those where like now like the secondhand embarrassment is so strong. But yes, we talked about last segment. There was a classmate of mine who decided for his talent show in 8th grade to do the Bartman. Yeah. I also remember there was the cool girls did Grease Lightning.
Okay.
They did that one. That was remarkable. That was a good one.
Where would this rank on your embarrassing scale? This kid in my high school was liked.
Yeah.
But wasn't necessarily popular. Definitely in the nerdier crowd.
Mm-hmm.
During prom, gets the DJ to like change the song. He's in the middle of the dance floor and does NSYNC's "Bye Bye Bye" like by himself. the entire song and rocked it. And honestly, he got like a standing ovation for it because again, he was liked, but he was totally out of the box, like kind of a nerd. And but nailed it. How did this kid do? Did he do a good job? Like he practiced it? Was he at least good at the moves?
Even then, I don't know what the Bartman's supposed to look like. I don't even know if it's really a dance. I think it is.
Right. Well, obviously, Instinct's Bye Bye Bye, everybody knows the dance move, and they're like, so you could tell if it was good or not.
Be embarrassing, but obviously you kind of saw it through and it worked out fine. And you go so hard and it
Full
works.
send,
yes, but also you said high school.
Yeah, prom,
dude. But at the same time, like I honestly feel like high school kids are more forgiving than middle school.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
Like middle school is like you are a disaster, you're a hormonal nightmare. You've no idea, even an idea of what's right and wrong. Like in high school, at least some kids who are like, you know what, just give it up for this kid. He gave it really hard, and then other people hop in on it. So like, actually, what I picture is pop culture reference here. I just watched the movie Wicked. And there's a scene where Glinda sets up the main character Elphaba to look like an idiot at their version of prom, and instead of running away, she decides to do this dance. And then at some point, Glinda joins her, and then the whole school does it, and it turns into a positive thing. But honestly, it reminds me of one person dancing, and everyone like, "What's going on?" Until finally, someone's like, "You know what? This isn't bad. Let's own it." So that's what it reminds me of. But also, your friend ahead of their time, because in the Deadpool movie, Deadpool vs. Wolverine, they do the Backstreet Boy Bye 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 dance.
Yep.
So visionary is what your classmate was.
That's what we were thinking back then too. Visionary.
Oh, I'm sure. 844-770-3776. Ryan, do you have a story?
I'm trying to think of most embarrassing things from high school. Like middle school, high school, I can't think of like anything a kid did per se, because there's a lot of it. And I feel like, honestly, like you mentioned, I don't think kids are more forgiving in high school. I just think the trauma of middle school lasts longer for whatever reason. It started earlier and it never really goes away. Whereas high school, like, there's so much dumb stuff, you just kind of move on. Like, it gets lost. The one thing I can think of high school, it wasn't a kid. It was one of the teachers, actually, the principal from my school. Back then, this would have been 2016 maybe. They were just like really experimenting with the idea of being able to use like YouTube live streams for like daily like announcements on like morning update.
I like where this is going. Okay.
So it was almost like they were testing it out on like, I think a Saturday, I want to say. Maybe even a school day. And
this is giving off American Pie vibes. I don't think that's what's going to happen.
It's getting there.
Right.
Not quite American Pie. Sorry to disappoint. But they basically were trying to test out this live stream, and they didn't realize that while testing it, they just went live. And this video lasted on the school's YouTube page for at least 24 hours. It's really just like an IT person and the vice principal from my school trying to figure this out and just being like not realizing they're on camera the whole time.
Yeah.
And the vice principal of my high school thought it was the funniest thing to just keep flipping off the camera. And just like double birds, just kept doing it. And he's just like, he looks like, he also
had
like
video announcements?
Well, we tried it. And obviously, as you can see, it didn't work.
Well, I know, but you got rid of it.
Well, we eventually did, but then we had actual like students doing it who understood technology, and they did it for us like once a week, I would say. And it was like a weekly roundup of like what's going on at Neenah High School.
See, I know this exists because I watched the Spider-Man movie and the newer ones with Tom Holland, and the kids do this sort of thing. And my kids watch shows now when they do stuff in high school in the shows, they have these video announcements.
And you know what's great about them? They live forever. And because they live forever, one of the kids in my high school, I won't say his last name, but Marcus, who was one of the bigger troublemakers I remember from high school, somehow stumbled into this video and wanted to make a point out of Mr. Buboltz. And
that's a perfect principal's name.
Mr. Buboltz, it sure was. And he actually made and like copied flyers of him flipping off the camera. And I think I got it to school late that day because I had like a dentist appointment.
Yeah.
I got there at like 10 a.m. and I walk in and there's probably like 200 to 300 of these flyers just laying around the halls. And I'm fully lost of what's going on. Apparently he had to go on like at like the start of second hour and actually gave like an apology to the entire high school. If you can imagine, it's every kid in every class just trying not to laugh while every teacher probably takes it very seriously.
Yeah.
And Mr. Buboltz didn't have a great Q score to start with.
Yeah.
So it was on the news later that night.
Oh, boy.
It was incredible.
I don't think middle school principals or vice principals have a high IQ score. I just can't imagine.
High school
or high school.
middle
either.
school, any.
Like,
Vice principals.
Does anyone
too.
have a cool principal?
A cool one?
Yeah.
Not really.
At best, they're palatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our high school principal is palatable.
Yeah.
Still busted me when we had closed campus. So when I came back from sneaking out to get Taco Bell for lunch, he still sent me right to the office.
Yeah, we closed campus
Got in
too, and I
trouble.
would sneak out and get in trouble.
He would patrol he would literally like be in his car, like going around the parking lot waiting for cars
We need to
to come
fire
in.
up the song "Glory Days" as we tell this, but you just triggered a memory for me. There was this older woman who was retired from a regular job, and she just worked around the school as like kind of basically this
The
person.
narc?
Yeah. And we used to call her Bruiser because she'd be like, if she catch you in the hallway, and she was a tiny woman, an older tiny woman, but if she caught you in the hallway, she'd write you up. Yeah. But after a while, like if you played the cards right, you could sweet talk her a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So then like out of the 5 days you'd sneak out, you get in trouble for like 3 of them. Because like detention hours kind of start to pile up, and you're like, all right, I got to start being nicer because I don't want to be in detention all the time. But 844-770-3776. If you have any, you cannot give names. You will get dropped if you give a name. But unless it's you, and if you want to do it. But if you want to share any embarrassing things that are burned into your memory from secondhand embarrassment, whether it's the middle school or the high school vice principal flipping off the camera, trying to figure out how the cameras work, someone doing bye at prom, someone doing the Bartman for 8th grade middle school talent shows, whatever those are, you can chime in with whatever they are as long as you leave the names out of it. 844-770-3776. Don't miss out. It's holiday season. Plenty of time to get something at Chalmers Jewelers. Might get getting tight on having something custom. But if you're looking for jewelry, you can walk in there. I did this last year. I might do it again this year. And you're trying to figure out, I don't know what I want to do for Christmas. Here's always the right answer. Get your significant other some jewelry from Chalmers Jewelers, and it will go over well. It could be a watch. It could be rings. It could be earrings. It could be a necklace. It could be any of those great things at Madison's Custom Jeweler, Madison's Family Jeweler, Chalmers Jewelers in Madison and in Middleton. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Madison Weight Loss is having a huge holiday sale, almost 20% off, making it our lowest prices of the year. You can start the program before, during, or after the holidays. We know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no prepackaged meals, no injections or surgery. The secret is our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good. To learn how our clients on average lowered their metabolic age by 17 years, go to MadisonWeightLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation and learn why your metabolism may be sabotaging your weight loss goals. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com and save big now only through December 31st.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson. The program with Madison Weight Loss was perfect for me to lose 40 pounds. Trust me, Madison Weight Loss is the real deal. And take advantage of the huge holiday sale with the lowest prices of the year now through December 31st. You can start the program now or after the holidays, but you need to call now to lock in the huge discount. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation. That's MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
The president of James Imaging Systems, Tom Tegeter.
Over 45 years ago, my father, James Tegeter, founded our company on a cornerstone of quality, integrity, and service as the best way of connecting with clients. As I reflect on 2024, I'm grateful for the James Imaging Systems team. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to always connecting with clients and helping them thrive. To each long-term client, I extend my gratitude and thanks for your confidence and support. We look forward to remaining connected to you as your local business technology partner. I also appreciate our new 2024 clients for connecting with us. Welcome to the James Imaging Systems family. Looking forward to 2025, I believe if each of us embraces the power of connection, our local community will prosper. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and God bless America.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
The number 7 just got a whole lot luckier because of Pizza Hut's $7 Deal Lovers menu. Enjoy all your Pizza Hut favorites from pizza, pasta, boneless wings, melts, cheese sticks, desserts, and so much more. All for $7 each when you buy 2 or more. With this lucky deal, you don't have to choose between great taste and great value. You can have both at Pizza Hut. Order on the app or online at pizzahut.com today. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
This season,
Chevy brings classic pairings, cookies and milk, mistletoe and kisses, and your holiday plans and a new Chevy. Silverado 1500 gives you power and capability with 430 pound-feet of torque to haul your holiday tree. Equinox EV and the all-new Equinox offer award-winning quality and style to see you through the holiday season. See why Chevy makes everything better and brighter. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Oh yeah, round and round, round they go. I get around, still clown with the underground when we come around.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's crushed. Coors Light.
We are taking a couple different phone calls. You can chime in on. He's Matt Hamilton. I'm Jim Rutledge. Primetime Laura Shine Behind the Glass. You can watch the show on YouTube. Miss any of it? Listen back, Wisconsin. The Man. Follow us at Jim, Matt, Molly. We did ask you can chime in with your favorite non-Simpsons family, Simpsons character. You could chime in with embarrassing things you saw when you were in school for like secondhand embarrassment stories, but you cannot share the person's name unless it's you that committed to secondhand embarrassment. And then we also asked a sports-related question. To start the show, we asked, are the Packers closer to the Lions or the Seahawks as contenders in the NFC? Right now, 57% of you say closer to the Lions, 43% obviously then say closer to the Seahawks.
I think that's pretty fair too, right?
Yeah.
Like, you could sway me either way. I'm kind of leaning more Seahawks now, but you could sell me on the Lions.
And if the I would go like this. If the Packers lose, I'd still put them in front of the Seahawks, but the answer to this question is unquestionably the Seahawks.
Really? So even if they lose and I were to go up to you, Jim, who's a better football team this year?
No. I asked you,
Seahawks?
are they closer to the Seahawks or the Lions? That's why I would still answer they're still closer to the Seahawks. Then I would say unquestionably they're closer to the Seahawks than the Lions. Right now, I think they're right
but what
now.
if I'm changing the question?
Okay.
Who's a better football team if they lose this week? Are you still saying the Packers? You know, I think they're better, but they had an off week.
No. If they lose, you got to give it to.
You got to give it to Seattle.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Eric,
I kind of was trying to catch you in a little bit there, but you passed.
No.
You stuck to your guns.
Appreciate it. Let's get out to Eric in Green Bay before we go to throwing stones. He had a cool principal in high school. Hey, Eric.
Hey, so, it was kind of an embarrassing fun story for me. I went to high school in Appleton, and I'll just spare the associate principal's name, but he was a relatively younger guy, really relatable, diehard Cubs fan, and one day in the middle of the day, he called me down to the office and started you kind of get in this whole little spiel of like, we've had some complaints about you, and then he started just like cracking up halfway through. He's like, no, I just called you down here to rub in. The Cubs just swept the Brewers, and he's like, I just had to give you a hard time, and I just wanted to see your face because I know you're a decent kid and don't get in trouble, and I just wanted to see us all go down. Like, good luck in September. So that was fun.
That is awesome.
That is good.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that story, Eric. All right, we got to throw some stones.
1, 2, 3,
Some takes are cooler than others.
You know this kid is as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Some opinions are just cooler than the rest.
That was cooler than being cool. Ice cold.
And if you keep it chill, then it's a cold take.
Chill out.
I'm chill. I'm chill as a cucumber, man.
I'm always the coldest.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's chillest Kia dealership.
Yeah, guys, and just like Eric's cool principal in high school, Jim Rutledge told me he wants to rub in a wrong take that somebody else here at ESPN Wisconsin had. Jim Rutledge, who are you going after this time in Throwing Stones?
First of all, a little bit of procedural news for the Green Bay Packers. They have released Spencer Rowland and have signed Michael Jordan to the practice squad.
They did sign Michael Jordan.
Yes.
Big deal.
Yes. Big jump to their pickup basketball
Nice.
game.
It's important to get a veteran who knows how to win.
Yeah, I understand that.
A veteran?
Mm-hmm. played professional sports for a long time.
Yes, that's true.
This Michael Jordan played O-line for the Patriots last. But I just everyone is those not in.
Think he could dunk?
I would hope so.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll look up how tall he is.
Perfect.
Anyways, and this feels bad because we got after Nortman the other day with Brad Nortman talking about how it was a sign of respect to go for it, even though if the Lions didn't get it, then it would have been even better for the Packers because then they could have gone on the field.
That wrong of a take. I like that. That's a good silver lining Packers take.
That's a Pollyanna take.
Oh, come on. Leave Anna and Polly out of it.
And again, Brad Knowsby Analytics, it was analytically better to kick it there for the Lions before they went for it on fourth down than it was to go for it on fourth down and kick it later because it was more likely that
they just didn't. They were afraid of the Packers getting the ball back, so that's why they went for it.
Whatever
I get
helps
it.
you sleep at night, I understand that. So that aside,
let's get him again.
Yes, I remember early in the year, and this is not a blind side, and we can tag him in if we do post it, but he was saying that Matt LaFleur is a top 5 coach in the NFL, and the person he wanted to kick out was Mike Tomlin. And I think you were with me on it as well.
Yeah,
no, and I didn't think the Steelers and Tomlin were going to do this, but he's never had a losing season. And right now, you could make a case that the Steelers are the best team in the AFC. I wouldn't, but their defense is so good. They're giving off vibes of like the Ravens, obviously with Ray Lewis, or the Bears that got to the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman as their quarterback. Like
maybe some steel curtain days.
Yeah, but I'm saying like when you like the modern day times where you can get the Ravens got there and won with Trent Dilfer. The Bears got there with Rex Grossman. When you have like a amazing defense, you sometimes and Russell Wilson's better than both those guys.
Right.
You can get there with a lesser quarterback. And what Tomlin's doing and the culture and we talked about it before, of the Steelers, Ravens, and Lions, and probably the 49ers, but those 3 teams for sure are teams that you unquestionably know that they have a style and a organizational fit from top to bottom. Everyone in that organization, players, trainers, whole thing, are all on the same page.
Yeah.
And that's Mike Tomlin right now, and it is crazy. And so he might go from outside of Brad Nortman's top 5 to winning Coach of the Year this year.
Yeah, I give you that. I mean, the no losing seasons is incredible.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin, he's probably a top 3 coach in the NFL. Like, he's not the first guy I would think to toss out of it just because he hasn't had a lot of success lately. I think he's got a Super Bowl win, 2 appearances, right? Lost to the Packers and then beat the Cardinals, I believe.
Yep, beat the Cardinals, yep.
And
Kurt Warner's
Cardinals,
right?
And then you have all the like playoffs they've made. Now, did I think a little bit of it was Big Ben being really good at football for a long time? Yeah, but then he's been able to do it since. So he's a top 3 coach in the NFL. I think Matt LaFleur lives right comfortably in the middle between 4 and 8.
Who else is in the top 3?
I think you'd have to put Reed up there.
Yeah.
And then
this is a big watershed one right here.
This is a tricky one because normally I would say Kyle Shanahan, but it's
Matt LaFleur.
No, I think you could go John Harbaugh as well.
Oh, that's
John
a good one.
Harbaugh's pretty solid.
Yeah,
super consistent. I think you could maybe make a case for LaFleur being 5, but
also you can't sleep on Jim Harbaugh, who took a horrible team and now has them going to the playoffs, and I believe the only coach that has a better regular season record by like a game than LaFleur or than Jim Harbaugh is LaFleur. Like Harbaugh's right there as far as winning coaches in the regular season, and he's gone to more Super Bowls than LaFleur has.
So I kind of I'm omitting him for now just because he had that little stint in college
where he won a national championship.
Right,
Okay.
but like
it was a neat little run.
College football is definitely different. He's obviously doing good things for the Chargers right now. He's got a optimal setup. Like I'll circle back to him later. Let's get him another season in the NFL under his belt.
I think that's going to work
break.
against you, but
it probably would. It probably
Jim,
puts him back up there.
Would
but
you put him over Jim Harbaugh?
No.
Okay.
I'd put no. John's. I'm just saying there's a conversation to be had about Jim Harbaugh, but John Harbaugh. But Jim Harbaugh, I just want to, and I understand he's just polarizing because
Jim just can't.
No, I'm not gonna hate on him exclusively for those Niner years where they just absolutely ate our lunch. I know that's what you're looking up right now, so I don't need to see
but
it.
I'm saying like he wins everywhere. He won in college. He won at San Diego. He won at Cal. Like, he's just a guy, and then he won at Michigan, and then he won at San Francisco, and he won. And he's winning now with the Chargers. Like,
imagine if he had just been hired by the Bears.
Well, yes, absolutely. That's a huge F. That's why I know him so well, is because
every Bears fan wishes forever that he had been hired. Would you have rather have Patrick Mahomes as a quarterback or Jim Harbaugh as a head coach?
Oh, Mahomes.
Okay.
Because Mahomes, like, also Harbaugh is, here's the case against him. He is a giant jerk and wears out his welcome everywhere he goes. Like, he leaves because it's too much.
I mean, he left to get out of the hot water in Michigan.
Yeah, that's true.
But he left as a champion. 29-6 at San Diego, 29-21 at Stanford. He finished 12-1 his last year. Took over a program that was a 4-win team when he got there. And then at Michigan, 86-25, coaching at Michigan, and obviously a national championship. 52-23 in the NFL.
Pretty good.
Bless you. So how do we get from Mike Tomlin to
Well,
Jim
we're talking
Harbaugh?
about LaFleur's not top 5 coach.
Yeah, because you got to probably throw Dan Campbell in there now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
I think Dan
so
Campbell.
then you might have 6 for.
It's very similar like the quarterback stuff. Some of these are going to be dependent on year, but Andy Reid and Tomlin. We're also forgetting Sean Payton, by the way.
I don't know. It's tough for me to. I don't disagree that he's a good coach. I just was it Bountygate?
Bountygate
really
then
bothers
also,
me still.
and then also how he handled the Russ situation. Like he's not very not to say he's not go with the flow, but like he's going to be very rigid of like you have to work around my system. Like
Right.
you have to fit into my plan. Otherwise, it's not going to work for anyone. So I mean, that's why I would hold that against him a little bit.
His 18, and this will be 19 consecutive non-losing seasons to begin his coaching career.
That's
Mike Tomlin.
Tomlin, okay.
Yes.
By the way, I just looked it up. How many coaches of the year has Mike Tomlin won?
0.
Correct. Is it the most worthless award?
Well, because here's the thing, because people are all up in arms that LaFleur wasn't nominated, I shouldn't say not nominated, but like a lot of betting nights don't have his top 5. But it's like, well, just do the Jim Harbaugh's clearly going to be on there. He took over a team that was pretty horrible and has them looking on the verge of a playoffs. The Steelers had low expectations, so they're going to be in there. The Lions are the best team in football right now, possibly, so of course they're going to be on there. Maybe after Andy Reid also never gets any love, he possibly could be on there.
Don't forget Kevin O'Connell, Vikings.
O'Connell, and then also Sean Payton.
Sean Payton, too.
So it's that mix of like either you have to be a great team that's playing amazing, like the Chiefs and the Lions, or someone exceeding expectations.
Or you got to make a comeback.
The Packers are just meeting expectations.
Because right now, Harbaugh, according to your stats, is right about on average for his win-loss record.
Yeah, but
he just came back.
The Chargers were horrendous when he got there. They took a team that was trash and is automatically
That's
in the playoffs.
fair, but it's like you took a team that's horrendous with a top 5 quarterback in the
I understand
NFL.
you hate him, but like that's how it works. Like
He
if you
had the keys to the Ferrari, and
but
the
like,
keys are
that's
just
how
sitting right
that's
there
how
on the
it
driver's
works
seat.
when you take over a team that was bad and you make them good. The prior coach had the same quarterback, and they didn't.
I'm
weren't
saying
good.
he's better than the last coach, 100%. I totally agree with that.
He's one of the best coaches in the NFL. He's one of the best coaches in history, honestly.
I'll give him top 10 in the NFL right now, for sure.
Imagine if he coached the Bears.
Imagine if he coached the Bears.
If only.
If only Matt could pull off the dig. Like, he wants to dig at me and he's digging at me wrong. You're digging at me right with the Bears thing.
I'm not
He's
digging
trying
at
to
you
dig
wrong.
at me because, like, if he can't acknowledge that Jim Harbaugh is a premier coach as a coach because he's won at every level, then I really can't take what you have to say about sports. As a quarterback, he's honestly third best quarterback in my lifetime as a Bears fan.
The third best quarterback, best head coach of all time. I mean, it's him and George Halas at that point.
Yeah, right. Let me just run through this quickly. It would be I have to give it to Cutler still, and then I get McMahon just because feels, and then Caleb and Harbaugh. So we'll go 4.
Caleb and Harbaugh are on the same level already?
Statistically, Caleb may have passed them already.
Okay.
We're talking about a quarterback who played in the 80s. They didn't throw the ball around.
Fair.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where I have him ranked right now. And Cutler's just more of a obligatory, I guess you got to give him there. Yeah.
Stats.
Yeah. I mean, he got to the NFC Championship game. They won I think they won a couple divisions with him as well. You can be a winner. Go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. That's where winners go. Millions of dollars are won every single weekend at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. So go be a winner and go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or this, or even this. Well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Matt Hamilton to remind you the holiday season is here and Metcalfe's Market is your place to shop for all the essentials. From specialty meats and cheeses to an extensive selection of spirits, their knowledgeable team knows the perfect pairings for you. Wow your guests with tomahawk steaks, Wagyu beef, or that certified Piedmontese beef exclusive to Metcalfe's Market. Visit one of their locations at Hilldale, near Westtown Mall, or in Wauwatosa this holiday season. Go to Metcalfe's Market and bring local home.
When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at wipga.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
Hi, I'm Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock with Retirement Income Strategies. And what sets us apart is we're an independent, family-run office. We help clients like you understand the financial world and build a portfolio that's in your best interest. To learn more, go to MadisonMoneyGuy.com.
Listen to Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin on 100.5 ESPN.
Who had a better offseason than the Green Bay Packers and Brian Gutekunst? He brought in a field-tilting player on each side of the ball, and he is getting his money's worth in a huge way.
Wilde and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by Grassland Dairy, Home and Lindsay Paints, Coors Light, Made to Chill, and American Family Insurance. Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Jim, Matt, and Molly continues. We're at the Everlight Solar Studio. By we, I mean Matt Hamilton. I am Jim Rutledge. What are we doing there, Matt?
I'm just proud of Ryan. I asked if he could fit this song in as a bump, and he was able to. It's off our normal list.
Perfect.
Took a chance. I liked it.
Primetime war, shine beyond the glass. And Tarek solid. Eric Engler out at Great Dane for Great Dane Huddle. Guys, how we doing?
By golly, we're doing great.
By golly.
By golly.
Gee golly willikers. I'm happy to hear
golly.
it, fellas. We want to chat with you, Jeff Grimes, the reported new offensive coordinator for the Wisconsin Badgers, has at BYU, at Baylor, at Kansas. Obviously, Lance Leipold is currently at Kansas, so they've pulled this offensive coordinator away from Kansas. He's got an offensive line and tight ends coach background, and then obviously as a play caller. This likely means they're going to bring in a quarterback coach. But what do you think about the reports that it's the style of offense that Grimes has got to run here at Wisconsin, different than the air raid?
Well, it's all good. It has to come together with the quarterback. They got to get the right personnel, and you got to have good balance. And we have to be able to run the ball. If we could establish the line of scrimmage, we could certainly pass the ball as much as possible. But we're not going to have Peyton Manning back there, right? So we got to run the ball, so that whatever quarterback we have can create opportunity.
Yeah, I love, of course, the offensive line background. We went through, Longo brought Jack McNeil. That didn't last long. The guy that we got in there now, AJ, did a pretty good job.
And
and
you got Casey as his
and Casey Raybach,
partner there.
Yeah. Assistant O-line coach. So, I love where this is all going, But
hey,
like
by the way,
I said,
Malman stayed. Malman came back. You know that?
Yeah, I saw that. He needed to.
Yeah, but it's nice to have at least
Renfro
that.
did too. Like they have some good O-line depth. Yep.
Three
starters.
Yeah, no question. I mean, I like it. Like Tarek said, though, you got to get the right personnel. The quarterback's number one. I saw the guy
Van Beek.
Van Dyke.
Van Beek.
Van Beek's
Perfect.
from
Van Beek hit the portal.
Flew away.
You're thinking of the actor.
Little birdie.
Vanderbeek? James Vanderbeek?
Trading Places. Yes. The guy.
You get it mixed up with the Varsity Blues quarterback. Yeah.
No, I was thinking the guy was the bad guy who had the Orange Report and Trading Places. Remember? I don't know. That's way beyond your time.
I know who you're talking of. Vandermeer or something like that.
Yeah. Whatever. He's gone.
So, my question is,
What a loser. No, just kidding.
with this new coordinator, what I'm afraid of is I don't want to get caught up in this. I'm really excited. Luke Fickell is going to change the whole program and, get way over my skis here. Bring me back down to earth. What makes you nervous about this guy, if anything?
Nothing makes me nervous right now. I mean,
Are you talking about Fickell or Grimes?
We're 5
Well, Grimes. Talk about Grimes.
5-7. I mean, nothing. I mean, anything is good right now. Like anything, change needed.
Look, we need to get some consistency.
So
Continue to build the culture. Let's get some personnel in here that we believe in, and let's go and run the offense. I don't care what it is.
Right.
But we got to be consistent. We got to, we got to run the ball. We got to be able to play action off it and throw the ball down the field.
See, I hear what you're saying with, like, anything is good. Change has got to be good. Like, that's what we thought when we got rid of Paul Chris, and obviously it's taken more time than we thought. I just keep me from getting over my skis now, and then you're like, no, it's going to be great. New guy. Anything's possible.
So, you're not sitting at the Great Dane having a cocktail. That's the problem. That's your problem.
You're not wrong. Which one of you guys have? Maybe I'll join you.
East side.
East side. All right.
Thanks, guys.
We'll make you a believer. Come on by.
We're looking forward to hearing you guys chat.
Wow.
All right. This has been Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
See ya.